Have you ever felt stuck or plagued by procrastination where you really want to get something done but you just don't seem to be able to? You know more but you're doing less. You feel this resistance and it could be very worrying. Have you ever felt that way? I definitely have. And I read an article today that really enlightened me concerning this. It's called the knowing doing gap. And it is a concept where we know what is best for us to do, but we do something else anyway. You know you should work out, you know you should eat healthy, you know you shouldn't spend so much time on social media, but you just find yourself doing it anyway. Look, anxiety builds up really fast when you have this not knowing doing gap. When you know what you should be doing, but you're not doing it, it's so easy to get anxious, to feel overwhelmed. And it's usually a result of a natural, I would say, phenomenon of human beings where we are always seeking comfort. We are always seeking what is pleasurable. The problem with this is that when you're trying to seek what is pleasurable, you might be playing yourself, really. Because in seeking what is pleasurable, you focus on what you think will satisfy you, but ignore every other thing that is in the bigger picture. And so, for example, a student in school who wants to just have fun, he wants to play with his friends and just not attend classes. He might be doing this because he feels unloved, he wants to bond with his friends, he wants this feeling of acceptance, etc. If he decides to spend all his school time playing with his friend, it's so easy to see that he has missed out the bigger picture, which is that school will probably last 3, 6 years. After that, he has to move on to the university or he has to get a job. And if he has been ill prepared in those 6 years, by focusing on that pleasure, he has ignored the rest of his life, where he will now have to struggle or find some other way to meet his needs. This is the thing with having that knowing doing gap where you just know what you should do but do something else anyway. And how can you fix this? Start by taking one step at a time, a very little step. Actually, the first step will actually be to change your perspective about comfort. Instead of focusing on what you think is pleasurable and what you think you're okay with that satisfies you in the moment, think about the discomfort you're setting yourself up for if you don't do what you need to do. That change in perspective, my dad used to call it delayed gratification. So he'll say, hey, you have to suffer a little now so you can enjoy more later. If you don't have that mindset where you are taking the whole picture in, you would find yourself losing relationships, losing friendships, losing opportunities because you're just afraid to take that next step or overwhelmed to take that next step. So first, change your perspective. Consider what you might be missing out on if you don't do what you should do. Also, take a small step today. Start now. Don't start immediately after watching this video. Do something you know you should be doing. Start now. Look, you can act yourself into thinking the right things, but you can rarely think yourself into acting the right things. And why is that? Action spurs momentum. Once you start moving, you start moving. You keep doing. Before you know what is, you're already on a roll and you are now motivated to keep on with what you're doing rather than just thinking, okay, I need to be ready. Look, that lie of you need to get ready. You don't need to get ready. You will never be completely ready. You just need to start. You'll learn on the way. You're that intelligent to figure out a way to do what you need to do, but you just need to get yourself out of the couch and start. Look, let me tell you something more about this. If you start today, in 10 years' time, you will thank yourself for 10 years of experience. If you waited till 5 years' time, aside from the fact that it will be way harder to start at that time than if you started now, because you'll be older, Aside from the fact that you might likely regret all the time you wasted without starting, one thing, and aside the fact that life is sometimes a brutal teacher, it will keep on bringing the same tests to you until you pass it. Aside those facts, 5 years time, you would only, in 10 years time, apologies, you would only have 5 years of experience. Remember, if you started today, in 10 years time, you will have 10 years experience. If you start in 5 years, in 10 years time, you will have 5 years of experience. So hey, the encouragement today is to you and to me, start doing now. Start closing up that knowledge doing gap. Look, some of the best entrepreneurs, some of the most successful people are people who are quick on their feet. They are very action oriented. And that's important because the earlier you start, the quicker you do what you know you should be doing, the easier it just is for you when you think about the bigger picture. Today is the 24th day, I believe, 24th day of the 100 Days of Consistency Challenge. Thank you for watching this video and I'll see you tomorrow.